Good evening. I wanted to check in with you guys. We've been through one full section of the modules for this course, and most of you have turned in your assignments as you've been going along. I've heard from some of you have had some unfortunate events happening in life, and so you're a little bit behind, but I'm looking forward to receiving your makeup assignments as soon as possible. As you all know, of course, this course is all about instructional program leadership and assessment. And so when we think about that, quite often we think about the role of the curriculum and instruction person in the district, whoever is leading that role. And there are bits and pieces of that belong to different responsibilities, different job assignments in the school district. But here we're looking at the instructional leader. So I would say really what we're looking at is at a district level, more or less, most of the time, taking a broader look. And so several of you are building leaders and are already implementing curriculum and working with your teachers and students, and possibly you have some maybe some committees with stakeholders from your building who you're working with as well. And so you are working at it that way. Looking at this from a district perspective is a little bit different, and honestly, depending on the district you're in and even the state that you're in, because we have folks from various states who are in this course, it may be very different. The way that you deal with curriculum. I know I was the assistant superintendent for curriculum and instruction in my district for 13 years. And over those 13 years, best practices were refined. Some of the basics stay the basics, but sometimes there are other practices that we learn and find out and fine-tune, and maybe there's just a little different philosophy toward them. And so this is a great time for us to be able to share and discuss some of these practices together. And so that brings me to a point that I wanted to make. I wanted to talk a little bit about the discussion posts. In the discussion post, part of the assignment is to respond to at least one person's post. And so if I am scoring discussion post assignment, I always look for not only your post, but I look for the comments that you've made on other people's posting. And I really recommend that you take the time to read those posts and think about them, because quite often what will happen is you start to realize from what someone says about their reflection and their thoughts about the topic of curriculum that we happen to be on, that they do something completely differently in their district than you ever even considered. And so that's always sort of interesting to be able to read those things and either affirm each other on what you're doing, or to say, wow, we don't do that in our district, tell me more, or something like that. So I want to encourage you, because we aren't able to be in class together, seated, or have a synchronous meeting where we can all share ideas on these topics as we're going along through the course this semester, I just want to encourage you to go back and take a look at what people have said. Of course, for the first person to post, there's nothing for them to reply to begin with. So they have to go back and check later. And I would like to encourage all of you to take some time to go back and take a look and see what people have said. If you really want to dig in and get more of a flavor for all the variety that is out there of the different ways that things can be done in the world of curriculum and instruction, just maybe get a few little nuanced new ideas. So what I want to talk to you about next has to do with this particular module. We are going to be looking at, analyzing, evaluating, implementing, designing curriculum. And this time we're looking at the perspective of how we support that. How do we provide professional development? How do we give support to this process? Because as many of you stated, it's a wonderful practice for teachers to be part of the curriculum writing team. Sometimes it's not possible. There's just not the time to do that, and that is a trend that's changing. The position of a curriculum designer is starting to move to the forefront. And it's very interesting to me to read about that, because that's certainly not something that was happening when I was working in the field. Having teachers work on the curriculum, that was sort of the way that we always approached curriculum development and design. Or maybe I shouldn't say design, curriculum development and curriculum writing. There is a thought that, curriculum design takes this to a different level. And so then you definitely are going to need to be thinking about how will we professionally develop our teachers to teach this curriculum, to make choices about instruction when it comes to the students, to get this particular curriculum out to the students and those types of things. So it gives you a little bit different take on that. So I will be interested to see your thoughts on that. And we'll start off with a reflection video that's due next week on the 14th. Just like we had a reflection video to begin the prior module. You'll just talk off the cuff. What is it that you know about this assignment? That's what I want to know. Where are you currently? What is your level of expectation, understanding, your thoughts, your experiences possibly that you've had in the past with this idea? And then we will move into the critical analysis piece, where you will answer some questions that are given. You'll have some readings to read. You're welcome to pull some outside resources if you want to, based on that subject, which could help you later in the reflection and literature review assignment that will come later. But you'll do that for the critical analysis, and then you'll put your discussion post on there. And with the discussion post, I don't want it to be a copy and paste of your critical analysis paper, because a discussion post is a little less formal. It should be more or less inviting a dialogue, inviting a conversation. And so if you want to add some questions that you have in your mind, or, ask if anybody has an idea about something that you maybe find to be confusing or difficult to deal with, or maybe you have a great new idea, something that's worked well in your district that you want to share and get feedback from people, just treat that discussion post more in that form. And several of you did comment on more than one person's post, and I thank you for doing that. I hope you will continue to, and feel free to go in and comment on a comment that somebody's made. Make it feel more like a discussion. I know everyone's very busy, and I know that it's hard to get back in there and take a look. But if you even, set for maybe Wednesday before the assignment is due to go back in and take a look again, or well, I guess you're turning them in on Sunday night late, so even maybe Saturday morning, take a few minutes or whatever, just to go in and see what people have posted and see if you want to carry on any more discussion with them. Because that's just, to me, that's where a lot of the good networking part can come from these assignments. And then you will follow up again with the reflection and literature review, the more formal paper. I am beginning to score those. I think I've scored 2 or 3. I think I've scored 3. I'm getting ready to carry on with that. That takes me a little bit more time, because I treat those papers more as a scholarly writing. You do have an APA portion on the review, or on the rubric, that is scored. So I am trying to note and edit these papers and make comments on them just like I would on a dissertation that I'm reading. There may be a few things that I'm a little less strict about on this assignment than I am on a dissertation, but I'm going to point out some of the same things that I find myself pointing out when I'm reading the dissertations. And they may be things as simple as Usually it doesn't have as much to do with formatting, like with line spacing and things like that, but that could be part of it. Quite often on references, there are some bits and pieces that need to be tweaked, and so I try to make note of those, edit them, make a comment about what should be done that has not been done properly, so that you can, when you get your paper back, you can look at the edits and the comments and keep in mind things possibly. Let's say that you have a word that you often repeat throughout your paper, then I may note that you use this word a lot. Try to come up with some other language so that it's not, sort of noticeable to the reader that that's your favorite word. Or it might be that the language is a little too informal for scholarly writing, and so I might make some suggestions about other wording. Or perhaps you write like you talk. If I write like I talk, there's way too many words on the page. So when I write, I try to go back and make my writing concise, take out filler words that don't need to be there, and that type of thing. Looking for proper spelling, making sure that your noun and verb agreement is proper, just those types of things that I will be noting for you. And so when you get your paper back, like I said, please look at those things and, try to take note. On this paper, it's noted several times that one that happens quite often, that I put the word that after talking about a group of people. So like the principals that went to the conference, da 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 da. No, it's the principals who went to the conference. The students who, not the students that. The teacher who, not the teacher that. So that is a common error. I'm sure that we speak it improperly quite often in conversation, so we want to be sure that we don't do that in our papers, and that's something that I will note for you. Anyway, then I do juggle a few points on that, and I'll be looking for you to improve that as you go through the course for those reflection and literature review papers. On that topic, I do want to mention to you that there is a tool. It's a free app. I may have mentioned it before. If I did, I apologize, but I'm going to mention it again. The name of it is Grammarly. It is an app you can download to your laptop. You can use it across different platforms. So you can use it on your email messages. You can use it on any papers that you write. And it will go through, you can set the settings at different levels, have it look for different things, so you can make it be very scholarly language, or you can have it look for passive voice, or turn that feature off, whatever it is that you're looking for in your writing, and you can run your papers through that, and it will let you know what kinds of corrections you need to make. There is a free version of the app. Not all of the different settings are available with the free version, but it is a really good tool to help you catch misspelled words, or if you're missing a word out of a sentence, or you've accidentally typed a word in twice, it'll find all those things for you and point them out, and then you can click on a place to have it automatically corrected, or you can go over and change it as you've noticed what needs to be done. You can also disregard their comments if you feel like they're unnecessary, but I would recommend adding that to whatever devices you use, because, and this is really where I'm going with this. First of all, this is a postgraduate class that you're taking. We are educators, so we should be able to communicate very well. We are sending out messages to our public, and we want to not give our public any reason to poke fun or point fingers, or find anything incorrect about our writing. And so it's just good practice to do your best not to make any errors, and always to proofread your work. And it can be very helpful to have a tool that will help you do that, because we tend to make the same errors repeatedly, or look over our our errors whenever we are trying to proofread. So that's all for now, and I hope you guys have a great couple of weeks, 3 or 4 weeks. Stay safe and warm. Bye-bye.